Hello and welcome to Yoga with Jane. We're going to use the mat and we're going to be starting on our feet and then we will get to the floor and do some things. This is just going to be a step up and a little more challenge from the classes that you're used to doing with me. And for those of you who are not regular attendees to my class, but would like to try some of the things, we have a chair here, and I will occasionally show you things that you could modify to use a chair. So if the thing that we are doing at the moment doesn't work for you, you can always go into child's pose, or sit down, or use the chair for balance, or any number of things. Remember, this is your yoga. These are suggestions. You need to pace yourself, and remember that every day, body-wise, is different. Also, if you have a DVR capability, you can record these sessions, and you can also use your, I call it sometimes the husband wand, can pause the video and might get a drink of water or a cushion to sit on or what have you. So since most of us walk quite a ways to get to the yoga studio, but today you're in your living room, we're going to just do a little bit of movement to get the body warmed up. Do a little twist. Whatever you feel like doing warms you up. Kick your leg. Raise your arms. Stretch and step. Stretch and step. Just to get the blood flowing. Remember how we used to do the hula hoop? Can we do both sides? A little bit of a twist. I know when we start breathing a little more fully, we're getting warmed up. Very good. So let's stand in place for just a moment. With your feet in the number 11, we're going to do mountain pose. Rotate your upper thighs in, which helps release some of the strain on your low back. Tuck your low back, but let your buttocks be soft. If you know what your pelvic floor is, try to engage that. Lift it up, engage your abs, and your back should be fairly straight, but still with a bit of a curve in the back, if you can see behind in the mirror. Shoulders up, back, and down, and just pause for a moment. Feeling your feet on the floor, feeling all corners of your feet, feeling your toes on the floor. I know some of you have lost some sensation in the bottom of your feet, so you may need to look down. Or you may find you just have sensation in the edges. But really feel your connection with the earth. In a lot of yoga exercises, when we're engaging muscles, we want to think of grabbing a bone with those muscles. So as you're rotating your thighs and think about grabbing the thigh bones with your leg muscles. Very nice, everybody. Let's take a nice big breath in. Exhale. Nice big deep breath in. Opening up your lungs, have your shoulders back, maybe a little arch in your back, looking up, making sure you've got plenty of room in your ribcage for good deep breaths. Never has breathing deeply been more important for your health than it is right now. One more time, breathing up and down. Now, the next set of exercises we're going to do could be done sitting down. What I'd like to do is just stretch through our hands and our arms, stretching our fingers, down, opening wide. And this is something you should do 7 or 8 times. I'm not going to take the time to do that tonight or this afternoon, but I want to show you one more exercise that's very good for the hands. And that is taking the thumb and the forefinger and pressing together. Then the second finger, the ring finger, and the little finger pressing. Start again with the first finger, second finger, ring finger, and little finger. And this is a good exercise to do 7 or 8 times, really strengthening the hands. And when you're doing these things, consider holding your elbows up at shoulder height, giving your chest plenty of room to breathe. One more time. There we go. Now, rotating the elbow joint. Go the other way. These are all things that you can do first thing in the morning. And then let's take our shoulders one back at a time, the other forward. Rotating, warming up the rotator cuff gently. And then let's take our hands back and stretch through our chest, arching the back, chin up. And then rounding forward. Again, you can do these motions sitting in the chair. Again, arching back to let plenty of air in your chest. And then rounding forward. Very nice, everybody. Rounding up, back, and down. Now, if you're able to do a forward fold, let's do so. If you are limited by not being able to put your head below your chest, then stop here, which is where we're going to start. The option would be to use the chair. If you're using a chair, make sure you have it grounded on a non-slip surface. So hands up, stretching up, creating space between your hips and your ribs, chest wide open, and then come forward with a flat back, and hands to your shins just below the knee. Look down at the floor. You could also put your hands on the chair and come forward. If you're able to do a forward fold, let's go on down. Pardon me. If your hands don't touch the floor, even fingertips, then use pillows or blocks or cans of soup to support you. I've been doing this for many, many years, so I am able to go to the floor. Keep your knees soft, never lock your knees. And then let's slowly come up, back to a flat back. Spine is flat, and see in the mirror. Head forward, neck is an extension of the spine. Tuck your knees and roll up to a standing position. And let's take our left hand with our left wrist with our right hand and stretch up first and then over. Better separate our feet a little bit. So stretching up and then over. You can add a twist by looking up at the ceiling. Stretching out to the side and then up. Switch hands so your left hand is around your right wrist. Stretching up and then over. Shoulders relaxed, pelvis tucked, and the core engaged. Stretch. Look up at the ceiling, adding a twist. That feels so good. Back up, feet together, arms down, flat back, and then roll forward if you're able. Slowly roll up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Feet parallel on the floor. Rotate your inner thighs towards one another, engage the pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. And then pick a spot on the floor, 4 or 5 feet ahead of you. And keep yourself focused, your abs are engaged, and sit back into chair. And raise your toes off the floor, which helps move the weight back into your heels. Using your thigh muscles. You can have your arms open like this, or up like this. And if you're using a chair today, you simply sit up like this. Raise up off the chair and stay as long as you can. If you're not using the chair, are you still in chair? And then we'll come up, arms down. We're going to do that one more time. Bring your feet and legs together. We're going to add a twist this time, so it's important that your hands are together. Sit back in chair, toes up, smile on your face, and take your left elbow over the right knee and look up at the ceiling, pressing your hands together. You can make a fist with the lower hand and push against it with the upper hand. Try to have your knees in line, and then switch to the other side. Pressing your hands together or your fist against the hand, looking up towards the ceiling. Come back to center and stand up. Very nice job, everybody. Shake those legs loose. All right, I'd like to come down to the floor, and if you have blocks or cans of soup or whatever you need, cushions, we're going to do a few hip flexors, stretches, and we're going to do a nice long plank, and we're going to do a gradual incline to a downward-facing dog. So first we're going to start with our on our hands and knees and table. Make sure that your knees are under your hips, your wrists are under your elbows, your hands are spread open as far as you can. And look back between your knees and see if you can see your feet. If you can, just move them out to the side. And we're going to arch, inhaling, looking up. Exhale, rounding our back, looking down. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down. Now, at any time during this next set of exercises that you need to rest, you can just sit back into child's pose. There are 2 ways of doing child's pose. One is with the knees spread and the arms out. And the other is with the knees together and the arms back. So let's get into our table pose again, and take the left leg back, raise it up to hip height. Make sure it's not too high or too low, or that your hips are skewed. You want your hips parallel to the floor. And pick a spot out ahead of your mat to stare at. And then raise your right arm. So left leg and right arm up. Try to come up out of your shoulders. Great muscle builder, great balance. Bring your arm down, and then take your left leg over and cross it on the other side of your right leg, and just stretch to the side for a moment. Bring it back, set it down. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding your back. Again, we're going to do the other side, so pick a spot on the floor to look at. Engage your abs. Take your right leg back. Raise it up. Check to make sure your hips are parallel, and take the left arm out in front. Staring at that spot and engaging your abs. Balance includes vision, the inner ear, and your nerve sensories in your joints, all working together to let your brain know where your body is and what it's doing. Raise yourself up out of your shoulders. Bring your leg down, your hand down, and sit back and let your wrist rest. That's a tongue twister. I like to put my hands on the floor, palms up, and just gently stretch the front of my arms. And then turn my palms down with my fingers back towards my toes and stretch the inside of my arm. Now we're going to come in and do a bit of a downward facing dog. Now, you're going to raise your knees off the floor, and if this is as far as you want to go today, that's fine. If you feel like as though you can go in and more, bring your hips back and try to lower your feet towards the floor. Stretching your back, lowering the front of your body, and stretching up through your hips. And then back down. Sit back and rest your wrists. I want to show you two ways to do a plank. First of all, if you're using a chair and you want to do a downward dog, then you can do it with this. You can do it against the chair like this, or using the back of the chair to come back, arms length back from the chair, and just let your upper back sink. Two nice alternatives. Now we're going to do a gentle plank. And the plank can be done in two ways. It can be done this way, which seems hard, but the alternative with your elbows down on the floor and your hips up is actually much more strenuous. This is a great exercise for really working your abs. And then go back up to this way. So again, you're engaging your abs and you are looking at a spot on the floor 6 to 12 inches in front of your mat. And we'll come back down, sit back, and rest our wrists. Bravo and brava to those of you who gave that a try. Good job. Now we're going to do some hip flexor stretches. And I'm just going to quickly show how we can do that on the chair. So on the chair, you would sit with one leg over the edge of the chair, knee over ankle, stretching back, getting a good stretch through your hip flexor, and then turn to do the other side. If you're going to do it on the floor with me, then you want to be down, go from table, raising your right foot to the front of the mat, and stretching your left knee back as far as you can comfortably while still maintaining that magic position of your knee over your ankle. Now this can give you a great stretch. If you want a little more, you can raise the knee. If you want more than that, bring your hands to your knee or even up over your head. The thing I like about doing the knee down on the floor is that by sliding your hips back, you can pick up your foot and stretch through the heel of your right leg and getting a very good long stretch. Back to the hip flexor. hips sink down. And then stretching forward, raising your heel, flexing through the right foot. This is an exercise that gets easier as you do it. It also grows on you. Now, we can simply turn around and do the other side. We're going to take the left leg forward, knee over ankle, hands on the floor, head up. Left leg can be straight or down. Giving a nice stretch to the right hip flexor, sorry. Now take your hips back and raise that foot, stretching through the heel of your left foot, all through your back of your leg. Come forward, looking up a little bit, head up out through shoulders. Stretching back. Nice inhale, exhale. You know, the most of our breathing and lung power is actually in our back. So these are very good exercises to do while you're upright and breathing with your back exposed and stretching. Okay. Bring your feet together, flat back, coming up, stretching, and feeling very proud of yourself. Let's do another balance exercise, standing up. And if you wish to use a chair, we'll have it handy. We're going to build a tree. So, go into mountain pose, turn your inner thighs in, abs engaged, back tilted, pelvic floor engaged. And then put your weight on your right leg, or if the chair's on the other side, it can be your left leg, and raise one foot up. You can support the foot by your ankle. You can bring it to your shin. Don't bring it on your knee, or you can bring it all the way up. If you do in this position, give this a try. You want to push this weight towards this thigh and press this thigh towards this leg. It gives you tremendous control. Your hips are facing forward, and you can hold onto the chair. You can bring your hands here. You can bring them up in the form of a tree. Again, you want to pick a spot to stare at to help focus your balance. Coming down, very nice, everybody. And then you can turn the chair around, do the other side. So again, back into mountain pose. Rotate, engage, tilt, shoulders up, back and down, chest open. Remember to inhale and exhale during all of these exercises. Bring your opposite foot, in my case it's the right foot. Hips are facing forward. Bring it up to wherever you have your prime balance. If you can let go of the chair, your options are here, here. What kind of tree would you like to be today? A crabapple with beautiful pink blooms, a cherry with pink or white, an eastern redbud with either white or pink, or wait and bloom later as a beautiful tulip tree. Get off topic and we'll all lose our balance. So, foot down, one last mountain. Let's take the left arm out The right arm over the top. Fold your hands, shoulder height, and then pull your hands away from your face, stretching through your upper back. Breathing. Big inhale. Exhale. Switch arms. Right arm out. Bend. Left arm over. Clasp your hands. Elbows, shoulder height, hands away from your face. Stretching through your upper back. Nice inhale. Exhale. We're going to just go down to the floor and stretch our legs for a moment before we end this session. If you're using a chair, you can do some of these leg stretches sitting down. Feels good to lay down too. Let's bring our right knee up to our right shoulder. Getting a good hug, flexing both feet, leg up to towards the ceiling. Stretch, pardon me. Stretching through the heel. Back down and long. Bring your left knee up. Getting a good hug towards your shoulder. Foot to the ceiling. Wherever you can straighten your leg is where it should be. It may not be at 90 degrees, it may be at 45. Wherever it is, it's fine. Stretch through both heels. Knee back to the shoulder. And take it long. Let's bring our knees up and have your feet hip-width apart. Rotate your scapula under your back. Have your palms up a few inches away from your hips. And we're just going to windshield wiper our knees back and forth, letting our low back relax. Let's extend our legs on the floor and our arms overhead, taking one last big inhale. Exhale fully. Bring your arms down and around. Let your feet fall open. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. And enjoy a few moments of Savasana. Thank you for joining yoga today, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.